Hello dear students. So today onwards we are going to start with new chapter, that is GST, the first chapter of your ICSE book. Now last time I gave you one introductory video on GST. Okay, so all the exercise 1A is fully dependent on the topics which were discussed in that earlier video. Okay, so with that basics we will see the first problem for the day. Okay, so question 1 of exercise 1A says, for the following transaction within Delhi. Okay, so within Delhi you need to fill in the blanks to find the amount of the bill. Okay, so what is given? Let us see. So given is MRP is given, discount is given, discount percent is given, and GST percent is given. So basically we need to fill all these blanks. Now if you see here carefully, the transaction is within Delhi, so that means this is what kind of sale? This is within the same state, right? So that's why this is intrastate sales. That means this GST, which is 18%, will be divided into CGST and SGST, right? Yes, that is central GST and state GST, and this 18% will be divided into two equal halves. 9, that is 9% for CGST and 9% for SGST. Okay, now let us see the solution. So first is MRP, right? So MRP is given, but we need to calculate GST on the selling price. Okay, so that means after giving discount, in what price it is sold, the commodity is sold, so we have to calculate GST on that. So first we'll find how much is the distance, how much is the discount, and after that we'll calculate selling price. Okay, so discount is, okay, so whatever is given I will just note it down. So MRP is given 12,000, discount is given 30%, and GST is 18%. Now discount is 30% of MRP. 30% of this much will be 3600. Okay, so this is your discount. So we have found it what is our discount. Now next is selling price. So selling price will be, that is discounted value will be MRP minus discount, right? So MRP minus discount is 12,000, and this much is rupees 8,400. so this is my discounted value. Okay, now next is CGST. So as I said earlier, this is our intra-state sales. Okay, within the same state the sales are happening, so that's why I'll be charged with CGST and SGST. Okay, so that's why my CGST will be 9%. As I said, this 18 will be divided among them in equal halves, so 9% and 9%, so that's why CGST will be 9% of my selling price. Okay, because we will be charged GST on the selling price, so that's why my CGST will be 9% of selling price, that is this much, which will be this much. Now similarly your SGST will also be the same, right? Because it is also 9% of this, so that's why I'll get my SGST to be the same answer. Okay, so remember always CGST and SGST within intra-state sales will be the same. Now they're asking IGST, that is integrated GST, but we know that integrated GST is applicable only in interstate transactions. Okay, so that's why my IGST will be 0. Now they're asking amount of the bill, that means total amount can be calculated by adding selling price and the taxes, right? And that is CGST and SGST, so that's why amount of the bill will be selling price plus CGST plus SGST, and this will be equals to this much. So pause the video to note down. Now next question is also similar, but here my transaction is interstate because it is transferred from Delhi to Jaipur. Okay, so directly we will be charged with IGST and we won't be charged with CGST and SGST, so that's why they are going to be 0. Okay, and the others are same, right? Okay, so this thing is given. So now you need to calculate discount. So discount is 20% of MRP, right? So 20% of MRP will be 10,000. Now your selling price will be MRP minus discount value, that is 40,000. Okay, now as I said, these two will be 0, so IGST will be 28%. Okay, so IGST is 28% of selling price. Please remember, GST is calculated on selling price, so IGST is 20% of selling price, that is 40,000. And when you calculate it, you'll get this much. So this much tax you need to pay. So that's why amount of the bill will be selling price plus IGST, which will be equals to this much. Pause the video to note down. Okay, now let us have a look at this question. So question 3 says, a computer mechanic in Delhi charges repairing cost from 5 different persons. So all this transaction is happening within Delhi, if you see, because all different people belong to the same city, that is Delhi. Okay, and they have been given certain discounts. Okay, and all these details have been mentioned in this table. Okay, so let us see. So for A, cost of repairing is this much. Okay, and this much discount is given. Now for B, cost of repairing is this much and this much discount is given in percentage. Okay, similarly for C, D and E are given. Now the rate of GST is given to be 18%. Okay, they are asking find the total money including GST received by the mechanic. Okay, now before we look at the solution, we know that this is intrastate sale, right? So intrastate means within the same city. Now if this happens within the same city or within the same state, will be charged with CGST and SGST, which will be exactly half of the GST, right? That means 9% will be given to CGST and 9% will be given to SGST. Okay, so this thing is given to us, right? So for A, repairing cost is this much and discount is this much. Similarly for B and C, all these things are given. Now if we know, it's like a MRP for me. Like if I compare this problem with the earlier problem, it's like MRP for me. Okay, and this much discount is given to me. Now if this much discount is given to me, first I need to calculate what? I need to calculate selling price, and we are familiar with how to calculate selling price. Okay, now after finding selling price, I need to calculate CGST and IGST. Yes or no? Okay, so after calculating CGST and IGST, I'll calculate the total amount by adding selling price, CGST and SGST. Okay, so we'll see that again, but this time we will calculate the same things how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, because there are 5 different persons. So if I do that, I'll get all these details. You will calculate by yourself because I've already shown how to calculate. Okay, so you will calculate all this and verify. Okay, now as I said, we'll find the total of all this, because mechanic is earning this total of this, 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 total and total of this. Okay, so let us calculate the total. So if you add all of them, so the selling price for each of them will be added to this much. Okay, now CGST will be added to this much, and similarly SGST will be added to this much. Okay, now when you add all of them, this much amount will be received by the mechanic. Yes, so that's why total money including GST received by the mechanic is selling price plus CGST plus SGST, which will be equals to this much. So pause the video to note down. Okay, let us have a look at next question. So a dealer in Mumbai supplied an item at the following price rate to a dealer in Delhi. So basically here transaction is happening from Mumbai to Delhi, so that's why it's interstate sale. Please remember that. Now question says find the total amount of the bill. As usual, we are going to do the same, but here we'll have a look at our table properly. Now here the rate per piece is given. That means one piece costs this much. So this means MRP of one unit, because it is said per piece. Okay, and such kind of product are 10 in numbers. Okay, so that means what will be the MRP of such pieces, such 10 pieces? It will be 180 into 10. Okay, and there is no discount in that. Net means there is no discount in that. Okay, so here it is interstate, so that's why GST, actually this is GST. Okay, so this GST is going to be 9%, so that means GST is IGST in this case, integrated GST. Okay, now similarly there's another kind of product, okay, whose number is 20 and whose rate per piece is given to be rupees 260. Okay, there's discount of 20% and SGST is again 9%, sorry, IGST is 9%. Similarly other two are also there. Okay, so let's just have a look at this table properly and we'll move on to the solution. Okay, so as I said, this is interstate sale. Now the same thing I have again noted down. Okay, now first I need to calculate MRP, right? So after calculating MRP, I'll see what will be the selling price by removing the discount. Okay, so my MRP, as I said, see, cost of one unit is given to be 180, but there are 10, so that's why 10 into 180 will be this much. So this is the MRP of this first kind of product. Okay, and since there is no discount, so that's why my selling price will be same as MRP. Okay, fine. Okay, now, okay, I'm sorry, earlier it was written SGST. SGST means state GST, so that was correct only, that is not GST. Now we know that IGST, see, GST will be the double of SGST, right? Because SGST and CGST, so when they are added, then you'll get GST, right? So that GST will be 18%. Okay, so that's why this IGST is 18%, since this is interstate. So if you calculate 18% of selling price, that is this much, you'll get this much. Okay, now similarly you have 20 pieces whose price per unit is given to be this much, so that's why your MRP will be this into this, which will be this much. Now there's a discount of 20%, so if you have 20% discount, you have to calculate selling price, which will turn out to be this much. Okay, now in this selling price you have to calculate IGST, which is 18%, so that's why your IGST is this much. Similarly you will calculate for these two and you will get your selling price and IGST. Okay, now we need to calculate the total bill, right? So first add them up like earlier case. Similarly add the GST, so that's why your amount will be total selling price plus IGST, that is this plus this, so your amount of the bill will be this one. Pause the video to note down. Okay, so the next one is for the following find the amount of the bill. Now here they have not mentioned whether this is interstate sale or intrastate sale. Okay, so if nothing is mentioned, we'll consider this to be our interstate. Okay, so this is actually my IGST. Fine, so it's like an early case. So your solution is given, just pause the video to note down, copy it, and verify the numbers by yourself. Okay, so next question is a word problem. Let us read the question. So Mr. Pankaj took health insurance policy for his family and paid this much, that is rupees 900 as SGST. So if SGST is this much, then obviously my GST will be double of this. Please remember that. Okay, now find the total annual premium paid by him for this policy. Rate of GST being 18%. Now we don't know how much money is being total premium paid is being paid by him. Okay, so let me take that to be X. So let the total annual premium paid by him to be X. Okay, now since GST is this much, okay, so GST on this is going to be double of this, right? Because if SGST is this much, then my CGST is also going to be the same, right? So that's why total GST is going to be SGST plus CGST. Okay, so according to the question, 18% of X, that means the total premium paid by Mr. Pankaj will be equals to SGST plus CGST, and we know that both will be same, that is 900 and 900, so 900 plus 900 will be 1800. So let us calculate. Okay, so 18% means 18 by 100, off means into X equals to this much. Now let's calculate the value of X. Obviously my X will be 10,000. So that's why total premium paid by Mr. Pankaj is rupees 10,000. Pause the video to note down. So with this, we finish our first exercise. Few sums are left which are quite easy and quite similar to the problems which we have done. So I want you to try those problems by yourself. Thank you very much.